to show you how to price your info products. So, what is the offer that you should be running to get more frequent high ticket sales, and to what extent do we know if current recurring is the best way for our niche or a one time purchase is the best? In this video, I'm gonna go over 4 core things that will allow you to figure all of this out for your current situation. But first, we need to go over the offer for our info product. I would say the perfect offer is usually teaching someone something that you've accomplished yourself, right? So you are like a walking representation of the transformation or something that you've helped a lot of people do already. And then once you have that down, you just have to remove like the 5 objectives, which is, and think about it, partner, fear, logistics, and money, right? So as long as you're solving a pain point that people have a desire to change, you can logistically do it faster, simpler than anyone else, and they have the money to solve it. You're golden. And from my own research, um, I say some because these do work, but some high ticket info products don't offer guarantees, refunds, and all that. And I've realized that whenever you do that, you definitely attract a different type of audience, lower quality. I mean, some leads are in it for the refunds or the free knowledge without no commitment. So that's something to keep in mind. So how do you price your info products? And there's 4 things I want you to start to think about inside the world of pricing your info products. Info products. And I want you to think into account all of these. And if you don't, you're already running the risk of either undercharging or just not setting yourself up for the economy of scale and being able to really scale your business to the point which you want. So the first point that I want you to think about is value. Value versus time. You see, our economy is built on a principle that typically you can trade time for money, right? This is the whole job market. This is, as you go up in the exchange, you make more per hour at the end of the day. Every single person on the face of this planet, unless they are insane, will trade a certain dollar amount for a certain time amount, right? Whether you say Bezos or Elon Musk, if you offer them the right amount of money, they would more than likely take that for their time, right? Within reason. And that is a way that the world works. And it works well. The problem is when you apply that strategy to your courses, it just you typically either drastically undercharge or you're just not quite thinking about this equation right in the right way. So stop thinking about your offer in the sense of trading time for money because that's not what it is. We're trading value for money. Which brings me to my second point, and that second point is that it's never the prices you see so often in sales and marketing. It's just running online businesses in general. We often think that it's the reason why they're not buying. It's the price. Now, it's never the price. And what I mean by that is that it's never the price, which is never the price tag in which you are offering something. For that, it's the core reason why somebody's not buying. You might ask, okay, then what is it? Then what it is, the value, right? It's value, right? Let me explain this to you. If you say you help photographers, right, wedding photographers get more clients and their outcome, and they were promised by working with you was $100,000, and you're in new businesses, right? If you charge $50,000 for that, and they can make $100,000 per year, just search out over the next 10 years, and that's $1 million they could be making from working with you. Is that worth 5% of those earnings, $50,000? I think so, right? But in the same, and if you promise them $75,000 worth of outcome, right, would that be worth it? Probably not, because that's just not a very good return, right? So you can see this. It's not just what's your promise, right? Because you might be thinking, okay, well, I only charge $1,000, and I say they can make $1 million, right? It's not just what you're promising. It's a whole equation, and that is Hormozy announced it perfectly in his book, $100 Million Offers. This value equation, I've never seen value described so well. And what he says is the dream outcome, right? What's the dream outcome? What is the big promise that they are hoping for? And what is the perceived likelihood of achievement that they will get there? And right divided by the time it takes to get there and the effort and sacrifice they're going to have to put into getting there. If you can lower the time, lower the effort and sacrifice and increase the dream outcome and increase this is the huge perceived likelihood of achievement, you increase value, right? So it's all of those things tied together. It's never price. One great example I've been told as a sales rep in this industry is when prospects they say they can't buy because they can't afford it. Every single time you would be told if you're on the call with them, you say, Mr. Prospect, look us out in your driveway right now. I have a Lamborghini or have a Ferrari. It is worth $200,000. You can take it to the dealership, right? And trade it in for $200,000. I'm gonna give it to you right now for $10,000. You just have to give it the money in the next 5 hours. If the prospect believed you, they would go get the money regardless if they had it or not. He call his friends, he call his family, go to the bank, let's do something. You will find a way because the value of being able to take that car to the dealership and get $200,000 when he only spent $10,000, it's so worth it. It's gonna be the easiest $190,000 he's ever made in his entire life, right? So it's never the price. Just remember that. Thirdly, there's an aspect to this of pricing that is so instinctual, right? I've just titled this instinctual pricing because so if you don't feel good about price, then I would suggest that you start lower at a price you would do feel good about and work your way up. And this is the truth of it. I often think people here, these people like charge high ticket, charge high ticket, charge high ticket, they get very uncomfortable because they're not ready for it yet. Right, so I do think you should stretch yourself. You should put yourself. You should, people, you have to kind of balance the difference between trusting your God and not, going against that because it's going to be very hard to sell. If you're going against your God and you're selling something you don't believe in, at least at that price, but at the same time, you do have to push it because oftentimes it's going to be uncomfortable regardless to get to that next level. So that's number three. That's number three. Number four, and this is arguably the most important part, is reverse engineering. So if you are trying to set up for seven figures, you have to understand that certain pricing models are going to be harder to get there, right? I'll give you a few examples of this. Number one, if you are a one-time payment model, if you were saying it's $3,000 one time and that's it, well, in order to sell at $1 million every single year and keep that run rate going, you're what is that? Like you're selling 32 people a month in perpetuity, right? A little bit more than the 32 people a month in perpetuity. Whereas if you were selling at that $3,000, well, that was in a continuity, they're paying $3,000 a month. To give you one example, so $36,000 a year. Well, now you're getting those 33 people over the course of the year, and all you're doing is keeping up with the churn, right? So the churn is 10. You are replacing 3.3 people every single year. So hopefully that makes sense. You need to reverse engineer what you're ultimately trying to achieve with that pricing model. That makes sense for it, right? You need to start with the end in mind and just do the math, right? Like, okay, if you are going to run a paid ads, if you want to hit $1 million a year, just work backwards at $6,000 one time. How many clients do I need? How many customers do I need? How much can I spend to acquire a customer when I'm still profitable at a pricing model? And you can start to see how this math starts to make sense. And if you're already running ads, just look at the numbers and figure out, okay, how much am I spend to acquire a customer? Now, if I raise the price by 2,000, maybe that just goes up by 10 or 20% of my cost to acquire a customer, and just see the way that moves the pricing. But just work with these numbers in your head to get out of a piece of paper and a notepad and just do the math and do the work. And I think you'll come up with a great number and a great pricing model that will allow you to continue to serve your customers and provide great value. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. If you guys want to know what type of funnel you can run for infoproducts, watch this video next, which will show you 3 different funnels that you can run for different niches.